guys and welcome to my YouTube. My name is Abby and I have wanted to do this for quite some time. I haven't really got around to doing it and I'm not sure why, but I'm ready to really crack on with it. So those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I spent a couple of years travelling with my boyfriend, and in the last 3 months I've been so busy because we've had a baby girl called Aurora Sky. So we've been busy. I've just been really fully immersing myself into being a mum and just kind of, you know, enjoying the whole experience. Now, I've had a ton of questions about mum life and how it is, my birth story, breastfeeding, all of these things. I really want to address, like, I really want to get around to answering it all. And I actually thought, you know, the best way to do this will be to do videos. It will be quicker and I think I'll be able to answer so much more and get so much more across to you guys. That's really what I want to do. So I thought I'd start with talking about my birth story, and for me it seems like it was so long ago. I mean, it was only 3 months, but I really think now's the best time to talk about it because as time goes on I think you forget more and it's just harder to remember all the details of what happened really. So we'll just crack on. I was due on the 29th of May, and although my midwife and so many people have told me the chance of your first baby being on your due date is quite unlikely, they're normally a bit after, but still, I mean, it can still happen. You can have a baby before, it can be on your due date, and it can be after, so you never really know what's going to happen. The baby just comes when it wants. So, but I'd had in my head that my baby was going to arrive on the 29th. I was so excited, I'd been counting down the days, and I got to the 29th of May and she just didn't come. I remember being almost heartbroken and like, why is my baby not coming? And I just, yeah, I didn't know what to do. So I saw my midwife and she said just do lots of walking and things like that. So I went on a mission. Every day I was walking twice a day, and it got to another week and my baby still hadn't come. And I remember at this point I was so big and I was just sick of being pregnant, completely sick of it. I didn't want to be pregnant anymore. I just wanted to meet my baby. Yeah, I was so ready to have her. I remember people asking if I was nervous about giving birth, and at this point I wasn't. I was a little bit anxious because you don't know what's going to happen, but I mean, I was not scared. I was ready to just get on with it. And so a week had gone past, and so now I was a week overdue. So I went back to see my midwife. She checked the baby's movements and the measurements, and she suggested doing a sweep. So at this point I was all for it. I didn't mind. I just wanted anything that kind of might bring on my labour. I was booked in for an induction, so if it hadn't happened naturally I would have to go in, and I think it was a week after. So I had a week to basically naturally have a baby, and I remember at this point I was a little bit nervous that I might not get to, but I kind of just thought, well, whatever happens, happens. So after my sweep I went home, and I remember I'd done a bit of research on sweeps, and some people had gone straight into labour, some people had done nothing for, and I remember I got home and I felt no different. Hours went by and I still felt no different, and I just thought, oh well, you know, she'll come when she wants then. And I remember that night I was a bit grumpy and I said to my boyfriend, I was like, may as well just go to bed because the baby's definitely not coming. So we went to sleep, and a couple of hours later I woke up with really bad tummy ache, and I had like kind of Braxton Hicks, which kind of feel like practice contractions, but they fizzle out. So I thought it was similar, so I got up and I felt quite sick, but I wasn't actually being sick. So I went into our living room, and I remember just kind of like swaying about and keeping myself moving, because I thought if I do go into labour I wanted a very active labour. So I kept on moving about and just really keeping myself busy. Then the contractions started to get a bit harder and a bit faster, and they just to me felt like quite strong period pains, quite sharp. So I woke my boyfriend up at this point, and he then rang the hospital, and they said that in a couple of hours ring again, but I'll probably have to wait at home for about 4 hours. I remember at this point thinking, oh my, like 4 hours is a really long time without any kind of pain relief or anything. And they just said to have a bath, have some paracetamol and just try and relax. So my boyfriend ran me a bath, we lit some candles, and it was really, really relaxed. To be honest, I actually really liked being at home. I felt very familiar, I knew where everything was, and I just felt very calm. And I think at this point my contractions weren't that strong because we were still laughing, we were joking about stuff, and I was definitely able to talk. And then kind of when the contraction would come, it would take my breath away, but it would last 30 to 40 seconds, and then it would be like done for like 3 minutes or something. So it was definitely manageable. So a couple of hours went past, and then my contractions started to get a bit stronger. And so I tried to use my TENS machine, but for me the TENS machine didn't do anything. I was actually quite sick, so I then got up and my boyfriend rang the hospital, and he spoke to them for a little while, and they just like came straight in because I was being sick. And bearing in mind it was about 4 in the morning at this point, so it was very cold, it was dark, and I kind of, for me, the drive to the hospital was the worst part of my whole labour. I was very scared. I didn't know where I was in the car, like where I was in comparison to how far away from the hospital, and I remember being like, we're nearly there, and we'd only left like 5 minutes, and I knew it was like a 25-minute journey, but I think I started to panic and kind of lost my head a little bit. But as soon as we got to the hospital, I did calm back down, and I kind of felt safe, like when I was in a place, I didn't like not being anywhere, and I think that's why I got scared in the car. And once we got there, I was assessed because they needed to see how dilated I was. So they assessed me and they realised I was a lot further along than they thought I was. So I got taken straight to a delivery suite. And it was quite funny because there was a water bath running, and I'd gone on to my midwife for months that I wanted this water bath. And it was finally there. I was lucky enough to get one, and I just didn't want to get in. I was so focused on just getting on with things. I didn't want to delay anything. I did want some pethidine, so I did end up having that. And they said that if I had that, I couldn't then get in the water as well. But I was completely fine with that. I wasn't remotely bothered. I then had quite strong contractions and started to feel like I could push. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to get off of the bed and walk around to the toilet and just walk about. And the midwives didn't want me to, but I insisted. I ended up walking, and because of gravity, within a couple of minutes, our daughter was born. So I remember at this point, I realised my waters hadn't broke at all. And I remember looking kind of behind me and seeing this baby in like a bubble. And I thought, am I actually hallucinating or delusional? What is around her? Because she literally looked like she was in a little bubble. She looked completely peaceful and calm. And she didn't cry. So I remember being like, is she okay? And they said yes. And basically she was just born in her sac. So in the waters didn't break. So she had a very peaceful birth. And for me, I think when she was actually born, it wasn't extremely painful. And I'm not sure if it was because of that, but it may have been. And yeah, she was extremely calm. And for a few days after, she was very calm. And she still is now. But it was very surreal seeing her in her little waters. It was really cool. And yeah, so the next sort of week, we stayed at home. We didn't see many people. Family came to see her and me, and of course Dunstan, my boyfriend. But it was very short visits, and I actually stayed in bed for the whole week, really. I mean, I did short walks. I remember going into the garden and kind of very short walks, but I really didn't do much. And I think my recovery was quite quick, and I think it's because that week I really, really did try and recover very well. It was really good for bonding, and that's why we wanted to do it. I remember saying in my birth plan, like, after my birth, I really want to, for the next week, really bond with my boyfriend, my baby, and just all of us spend time together because it's so important. So we really, really did do that. My boyfriend waited on me hand and foot. He cooked me food. I made sure I was eating a lot because obviously giving birth is a huge, huge effort on your body. So it was really, really good to have that time and just be looked after. Kind of feel like you're being pampered because you do feel sore, you do feel tired. Not only have you just given birth and given all your energy to getting your baby out, you also, after that, you're constantly, you know, with your baby. So you don't get to like have a week of just sleep and, you know, rest. You are up a lot. Though you get to rest, it's very tiring, very, very tiring. And I chose to breastfeed, so it was a lot of like learning, but I'll go into my breastfeeding in a different video because it's very long, and I do have a lot of like questions that you guys have asked that I really want to answer. But, you know, learning how to breastfeed was tiring, I was exhausted, but it it's such like a euphoric love feeling that you don't feel so tired, and you do get through it. And within a few weeks after that, I felt fine, and you know, it just takes a little bit of time. Your body just has to recover, that's all. And yeah, I feel extremely lucky. I was very lucky to have such a positive birth story. I know it doesn't always happen like that. You don't know what's going to happen. You can completely plan how you think things are going to go, and it doesn't happen like that. You kind of, it is what it is. But I just want people to hear some positive birth stories. I remember when I was pregnant, trying to find some, you know, some birth stories that would make me feel confident, would make me feel like it was going to be okay, and there isn't many out there, but they do exist. Just because you've read negative stuff doesn't mean your birth's going to be negative. I think if I could give one bit of advice, it would definitely be that really educate yourself about labour, because I remember when I was pregnant talking to my mum about something, and she turned around and she was like, you have no idea really what you're talking about. You really need to learn, because what if you know what to expect in each stage of labour, then it won't be as scary for you. And I think that's so true. I knew what was going on, and you know, when you know that, things do seem a lot less scary. And you know, there is so much in terms of pain relief. I had a lot of people message me saying about they were scared because they didn't want to be in pain, and you know, you don't get a medal for not taking any pain relief. And so if you feel like you want to, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You have to do what you think is best for you, because at the end of the day, it's you who's having the baby. So that's what you have to remember. So I hope I've answered pretty much all the questions that I have been asked. Anything else, feel free to comment or send me a message on Instagram. And yeah, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will hope to get some more videos out to you guys soon. Thank you.